Hasura is a service which helps us to manage a GraphQL API backed by a SQL database. In this series, I'm going to teach you some of Hasura's main features, which I'll do through an example. I'm going to show you how to implement a simple blog using Hasura as the backend. This video is just going to go through some of the preliminaries to get those out of the way, and show you what software you need installed, and show you how to set up a local Hasura instance and get that running. Then in the coming videos, I'll start talking about various Hasura features, including schema management, events and actions, authentication, authorization, database migrations, and so on. I'll try to explain everything as I go along, but if you're new to Hasura, it might be worth watching my 3-minute explanation video first, just to help you get up to speed with what Hasura is and what problem it's trying to solve. Likewise, if you're not familiar with GraphQL, it might be worth spending just 5 minutes checking through the official tutorial, which I've linked in the description, and just get yourself familiar with the very, very basic concepts of what GraphQL actually is. If you want to follow along with the implementation in this course, then the main software prerequisite is that you'll need Docker and Docker Compose installed on your system. So again, there's a link in the description that will take you to this page that will talk you through getting Docker installed. And if you're on a Mac or on Windows, it'll direct you to install Docker Desktop. And Docker Desktop actually includes both Docker and Docker Compose, so you won't need to install them separately. It's just the one thing. Meanwhile, if you're on Linux, they are actually separate tools, so you'll need to install Docker, and then there's another link that I've put down there that will talk you through installing Docker Compose, so you'll want to do both of those things. And the aim is to get the Docker Compose tool available on your command line. So hopefully following the instructions for whatever platform you're on will get you to that point. But there's a possibility you'll need to fiddle around with your path environment variable or something in order to get that to work. Just a quick note as well for Windows users, you might notice as these go along that I'm actually working in WSL. That's a Linux subsystem for Windows. You can think of it a little bit like a Linux virtual machine for Windows, but it's got a little bit more integration with the operating system itself. It's something that Microsoft officially supports. And you'll see later that that's what I'm doing. I'm running on Windows, but I'm using a Linux command line. And if you're interested in doing that too, or if you want to replicate my environment, then you may want to go and research installing WSL. And if you do that, you'll want to follow the Linux instructions for this. You'll want to install Docker on your WSL environment. The final thing you'll want to do, if you want to follow along with these videos, is to clone this repository I've made. Most of this repository is actually just a front end, because I thought it would be nice to have a front end that we can use to kind of test and visualize what we're actually doing with the back end. So I won't show you how to implement the front end in this course. I'll just show you how to get it up and running later on, and you can use that to test what you've done in Hasura. It's also got a little bit of skeleton code for the back end, and it's also got the Docker Compose file there ready to go. So if you clone that, that'll be the starting point for the videos. So once you're ready, you'll want to open up your favorite IDE, which obviously is VS Code. And you should now be in a situation where you can run Docker Compose on your command line, because that's what we're going to do in just a moment. At which point we're ready to launch a local instance of Hasura. So we're going to do that using this Docker Compose YAML file that you'll find here. And just so you know, this came from the Hasura documentation on the Docker Quick Start. You can see it gives instructions there to download it. It's identical to that, except that there's a couple of lines I've added in and commented out because I actually needed them to make it work on my system, and I'll mention those when I get to that point in one of the later videos. Otherwise, it's exactly this file from the Hasura documentation. So it doesn't matter if you're not familiar with Docker Compose, we should be able to make some basic sense of what this is doing. You can see that this file is defining two services. First one is called Postgres, and it is simply the stock Postgres, the official Postgres image. So this is just going to run a Postgres database. That's a SQL database, by the way, if you're not familiar with Postgres. And it's mostly just using the defaults. That means that it's going to be running on port 5432, which is something that you just have to know. That's just written in the Postgres documentation. And the only real significant thing, I guess, is that we've set the admin password there. And so when we launch this file, we're going to get a Postgres database up and running with this admin password. The other service here is GraphQL Engine, and you can see the image here. This is the main Hasura product. What we refer to as Hasura is Hasura's GraphQL engine. We can see that this one is running on port 8080, and that's actually been what this line does is it exposes it to our local machine. So port 8080 that's running inside the Dockerized environment, inside the Docker container, is also going to be exposed onto our local machine, onto localhost 8080, which allows us access to that service. You can see it depends on the Postgres instance, so that is the one thing that Hasura really needs in order to do anything useful. It needs a SQL database that's already up and running, hence why we depend on that. And then finally, you can see there's a variety of configuration that we're passing in through the environment variables. We'll probably talk about most of these, or several of these, throughout the course. Just the one I'll highlight right now is this one here, Hasura GraphQL metadata database URL. That's basically telling Hasura where it should store its own metadata. So that's the Hasura service's own configuration that it needs for various things. This is slightly distinct from the actual database that we are using to store our application data, like the application for our blog. Although in this case, and I think in most cases, they are actually going to point to the same database server. It's just that slightly different types of data. The Hasura metadata that the service itself is in charge of managing, and then our own application data, which we'll be setting up in the next video. And its value is just a connection string that essentially just points to this instance here, tells it that what the username is, the password, which is the password we gave up here, and the default port number and everything. So essentially what it's saying is you should use the database that was defined up here to store all of your metadata, which makes sense. So we've got a brief understanding now of what that file does. Let's get it up and running. That's nice and simple. You just type docker compose up, and that should launch those two services. The first time you do this, it might take a little while because it will need to download those images. For me, I've already run it before, so I already had the images installed. And then you should get a whole stream of incomprehensible output from Hasura. But when you get to the point where that seems to sort of, stabilize, that usually implies that the system is up. You probably find somewhere in this, in all this output, it'll be telling you that the service is ready to go. At which point you want to go to your browser and go to localhost 8080. And if all's gone well, you should see this loading screen and then see the Hasura console appear. So this means that we've got Hasura up and running. And if you've got to this point, then that's great. And you're ready to follow the rest of the series where we're going to start implementing a blog. If you enjoyed this video and would like to help us to make more, please click the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.